Hey, hello,
We're
hello.
live.
We're live to tape.
Yes.
It's the Media Book Podcast.
Okay. Technical term live to tape here.
Yes, technically. So today is Wednesday, June 10th.
Uh,
June 10th. Can you believe it?
yeah, I believe we are
2020.
at episode 231, if I
Something
remember
like that.
correctly, from last week.
Yeah. Something like that. This is another marooned edition of the Media Book Podcast. We are still recording separately in isolated places during this pandemic.
But still
Uh,
on a weekly basis because never
but
let the
yeah,
thing die.
nothing stops the media boat train or boat, I guess.
A
Um,
boat train.
the media boat
A
train. That's
boat
our
train
new
podcast.
boat train podcast. Thank you for joining us. If you are not familiar with what we do here, we are a podcast that talks about movies, television, video games, and music, not necessarily in that order. My name is Matt. His name is Mike.
I'm Mike. He's Matt. We got some thoughts. We got some video
Yeah,
game thoughts. I did end up playing Clubhouse 51
you
games.
did.
But before we get to all that, we got a lot of news to go through.
We do. Let's get right into it so we can blast right through and talk about movie news. Believe it or not, movie news is still happening. And guess what? The time is nigh
We may
because
have a box office
we
to
might
report
have
on.
box office numbers.
Question
Maybe.
mark?
So here's what's going on. The state of California is saying that movie theaters can begin opening Friday in most counties as long as they limit theater capacity to 25% or no more than 100 attendees under state guidance released Monday. The guidance adds movie theaters to a long list of other businesses that can start reopening, as the nation's most populous state, that's California, in case you didn't know,
Mm-hmm.
relaxes its stay at home order. The state recommends movie theaters implement reservation systems, designate arrival times, and designating certain seats that people can use so that moviegoers can maintain the 6 feet or 2 meters of distance from other groups. Moviegoers should, at a minimum, wear face coverings when entering and exiting the theater or buying concessions.
So this is part of California's phase 3 reopening, and they're allowing small to moderate gatherings
Right.
in
So
enclosed spaces.
there's a couple things here. First of all, the numbers are not going down. So don't take this as the state of California saying, hey, it's safer than it used to be, because that is the opposite of the truth.
Mm-hmm.
It is more unsafe than it was before. That being said, these businesses probably pressured the state a lot. And
Well,
that's
they also
probably,
pressured them a lot before Memorial Day to try and get open for
yes.
Memorial Day weekend. And yet here we are 2 weeks after Memorial Day with all the cases being reported.
So, needless to say, I would say the official media vote word is probably don't go see a movie this weekend. That's at least what I would say.
Yes, that's a Media Boat podcast approval of don't go
Yeah,
to a theater
don't
yet.
do it. Disapproval, I guess, if you will. Because, yeah, I just, the numbers are not down enough for me to feel comfortable with saying, hey, go into a circulated air room with a handful of other people to see a movie this weekend. It's just, I don't know if I'm ready to make that commitment.
Right, but also
Um,
notice that you need to wear a mask at all
yes.
times.
But masks do not prevent transmission. That's another key kind of thing. They're
Right,
also
but they
not,
limit them when you have like close
yes,
interactions.
yes, no. Obviously, precautions, if you're going to do these things, precautions should be
Right.
taken. But ultimately, the data does not prove that it's safe to do any of these things, even with the precautions in place. So, yeah, it's up to the individual to make their own individual decision. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see exactly how many people believe it's safe enough to go to movies and whether we'll see anywhere near numbers that will actually make these studios happy.
Right. I'm wondering if this is part of the ploy to lower unemployment by getting people back to work and saying, hey, you can open, therefore you are open,
Mhm.
therefore you no longer apply for unemployment. But that is a whole other domino conspiracy theory right there.
That's a dangerous game to play with too, because if a bigger spike happens and we have to go on lockdown again, we're going to be in the exact same place that we were before.
Mm-hmm.
So the businesses are not thinking big picture; they're thinking small picture profit. And yeah, I don't know. That might come to bite them in the ass by the time this is done.
Right, but how often have we seen that small picture bite them in the ass happen?
All the freaking time.
Oh!
Yeah, what do you know? Anyways, all right. So yeah, movies, probably don't go see a movie is basically the bottom line here. But you might have the option available to you.
Right. Do we know if like other states like Florida or Texas have opened theaters
I
yet?
would be surprised if you can't see a movie today in Florida.
I
Bet
mean,
you
I know
probably can.
drive-ins you can.
Yeah, I bet
Put it
you
in your own
probably could see a
car,
movie
but
in Florida today.
actual movie theaters.
But I don't know. Yeah, this story is just about California, which is also the subject of our second story today.
All right. What else is happening with California and these reopening stages?
California is planning on opening up the other half of the movie experience, which is making the movies. Well, film and television, to be specific. Cameras can start rolling in California again as soon as June 12th. That's Friday, for those of you keeping score at home.
Mm-hmm.
State officials said on last Friday, as they approved new guidelines to prevent the spread of the coronavirus on sets. California is allowing film, music, and television production to resume subject to labor agreements. It's key. Producers will still need approval from local health department officials to restart that filming. A task force of Hollywood studios and labor unions earlier this week proposed extensive coronavirus testing, daily symptom checks, and other safeguards to allow actors and crew members to return to work. The guidelines were developed by representatives from Walt Disney Company, Netflix, AT&T's Warner Brothers, which is a weird way to put that. It's like, yes, we get it, they merged. Comcast, Corpse, NBC Universal, same story there. Plus unions, including SAG-AFTRA, the IATSE, and the Directors Guild of America.
Right. And this is also a pseudo follow-up to the story that we previously reported about Steven Soderbergh heading up the team to employ these guidelines.
So more or less, yes, this will involve safety guidelines, which we talked about before. But yes, is all subject to those labor agreements. So every piece of this puzzle has to agree. The unions have to make deals to agree with the rest of the production people to make sure that in the studios, to make sure that everything's going to be safe on set. As soon as somebody gets this disease, this shit's shut down. I guarantee it.
Yes and no, because as we've seen with sports and their labor unions, the UFC, meanwhile, has reported cases of coronavirus in its first week, but the people who caught it were not allowed to fight, were kept away from everything.
Right.
And they haven't really had major reported cases since.
These unions are different than the sports organizations, I feel, is kind of what I'm getting at here. These guys don't play. Like, we've had, how many stories have we had about SAG-AFTRA? Like, about negotiating these deals? A lot. They know.
It's one of our favorite topics to talk about.
Yeah, and if they are on board with this, I know that they're not going to take this lightly. So we'll see what happens. But like I said before, here in California, and from what I gather, all of the states in the United States, the data does not support this reopening effort at all. So it'll be really interesting to see the more stuff that opens up, the more at risk we're putting our people.
It will, yeah, it's definitely interesting to see, but it's also, going to bring back the rise of game shows. I mean, I just saw an ad for Leslie Jones hosting the revival of Supermarket Sweep.
Yep. Everything's back. Everything's coming
part
back.
Of that. Yep. They're now casting.
So, yeah, we'll see what happens. We'll keep our eyes on that story, of course, as it develops. Movies. Did you see any movies?
No.
Moving on.
That's just
Let's
a
talk about
long way of saying
television.
no.
And we always start television with the sports section.
Oh,
And
lots
guess
of
what? We
sports
got a
happened.
big sports section for y'all this week. Lots of sports stories. But we start in an unlikely space. We start in the world of NASCAR.
That's not unlikely. We always talk about
No,
NASCAR.
but the story is the unlikely part. It's finally happened. Go check on hell because I think it's probably pretty icy down there.
Or go check on Twitter because everyone, as I saw, was yelling about it.
But NASCAR has officially announced today they are banning use of the Confederate flag and NASCAR events and properties. The South is done rising.
Now, they have previously had the stance of you cannot bring a Confederate flag into the stadium because anything inside of the event gets broadcast to TV and they don't want any association with that.
Right.
That being said, if you go to any NASCAR tailgate,
they're all over the
first
place.
thing you're probably going to see is a Confederate flag somewhere.
So this won't be the case anymore. You're going to go to the tailgate, you're going to have your flag, and the security's going to take it from you. Like, they're just going to be like, nope, you can't have that in the venue, sir.
Right. Now, they can't put this out now, seeing as there are no tailgates. It'll be interesting to see when they actually get people if they kind of eliminate it to just flags or apparel, clothing, face masks, what have you.
It'll be interesting to see how long this
stickers
like the public
on cars,
memory is.
Bumper stickers.
Yeah.
Painted cars.
Yeah, you can't really turn around a car, or can you? Maybe you can. They have to get a parking a ticket to park, right? So you could just say, "Hey, I'm sorry, your vehicle is not permitted here.
Your vehicle no longer does not apply to the rules and regulations that you have agreed."
Yes, exactly. By purchasing this ticket.
Yes, by purchasing the ticket, you have agreed to obey all NASCAR laws.
Honestly, though, this is freaking long overdue. Like, this is it was a stupid association in the first place.
Well, yes, but like I said, like I just mentioned, they banned it from being within NASCAR, but the flag has still been associated with NASCAR.
Right. It's just I think this is a good move to get people to finally just stop using the Confederate flag, people.
Yes.
Like, how long ago was the Civil War? And also, who won the Civil War? And also, what was the Civil War fought about? When you start digging into it, you start realizing how messed up it is that people still have pride for that thing. Yes,
right, but the Confederate flag will still be woven, shaken, stirred.
That, like, there are so many other ways to show your affinity for the South. Like, you can love the South and not love like what the Confederates stood for.
Right.
Like, those are two separate things.
Now watch the rise of Alabama state flags go up.
Jeez. So obviously there's some state flags that we need to like maybe figure out.
Need some updating.
Their symbology first.
Yeah. Inside NASCAR news, though, Bubba Wallace basically addressed NASCAR on this 2 days ago.
Yes,
and got his car repainted to support Black Lives Matter, which is NASCAR is currently running right now.
Yes.
On a surprise Wednesday race.
Yeah. I saw that and I was very shocked for somebody named Bubba to have that opinion. But you know what? Times are changing.
Okay, Bubba Wallace is black.
Oh, I didn't know that. Now I do.
Yes, Bubba Wallace is a black NASCAR driver.
Yeah, ask me anything about NASCAR. I know nothing about NASCAR.
It's okay. Right, eventually they all turn left.
Yeah, that's true. They do. Anyway, that's what they do. Let's move on. Anything else in NASCAR before we move on to other sports?
It's running right now.
Right.
Bubba Wallace currently in 11th.
Okay.
And they kind of keep highlighting him. But other than that, NASCAR runs. Yeah, if you want to see people yelling at NASCAR, go to Twitter, go to your local social media platform. So you can find out who to unfriend.
Yeah, I'm good. I'll pass on that one. Moving on to basketball. It happened.
Yeah,
They've
like literally
agreed.
the day after we podcasted
Yes.
it happened. Well,
Dude,
we
should we
called it
move to
because
Thursdays?
no, see, we called it because they were having an owners meeting the next day, which we knew
Yeah.
about. So we
Yeah.
basically confirmed it, but this is actually confirming it.
Still though,
Confirming what we already knew.
should we just move to Thursdays? I feel like all the cool stuff happens on Thursdays and we miss it. Anyway, we'll talk about that later. Uh, let's talk about this though. So basketball agreed that they will resume their season. Will resume. I guess they'll start the playoffs of their season.
Well, there's 2
Yeah,
weeks.
2 weeks.
No, that's what the 2 are for here. 2
Yeah,
weeks.
on July 31st, and they will be playing from the Walt Disney World Resort.
Yes, because Disney owns the NBA.
And also, Disney World is also a very isolated patch of land where that is not too unlike a fighting island, which we'll get to in a second. It's a way to kind of isolate the players away from everybody else.
Right. And, they have everything. They have a resort they can use. They have golf as an activity. They have a downtown area where they can shop and be outdoors.
Yeah. It's room and board entertainment all in one. It's just everything that you could want.
So, all the people who are saying eventually Disney will own everything. Here is a small little snapshot of what that might look like.
Yeah, that's scary, right? All right. So yeah, I guess basketball fans look forward to actually having basketball on the TVs again.
But that's not the only thing coming to Disney World.
No, it's not, because soccer of the Major League variety will resume its 25th season. They've only had 25 seasons.
I believe it.
Wow. Okay. At Walt Disney World Resort as well from July 8th to August 11th. So I guess they'll just pack in as many games as possible in that period of time.
Yeah, they're playing like every day pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
But also the winner of this will automatically be invited to the CONCACAF Cup next year in 2021. So this is how they're just basically compacting an entire season to these, what is it, 6 weeks roughly?
Yeah.
Tournament style, and then whoever has the better record out of all of it is automatically invited into next year's official tournament when that happens in 2021.
Got it. When and if.
Yes.
And then, as I alluded to, the UFC is still somehow claiming that they're going to make people fight on Fighting Island.
Fight Island
and
is happening.
Specified which island they're fighting on. It is the Yas Island. Yas Queen.
Yas.
Off,
Oh my god.
off of Abu Dhabi. So when you're talking about sending people to Abu Dhabi,
yeah, you're most likely to talk about Fight Island there.
You're going to be actually sending people to Abu Dhabi, or specifically Yas Island.
The Yas Island.
Yas Island.
Abu Dhabi.
So yeah.
Apparently, Dana White and the UFC put out a resort-style map of what they hope to accomplish with it. It's hilarious.
I can't believe it's real. And related to the UFC, one of the most infamous and disgusting people fighting for them is Conor McGregor, and he's announced his retirement again. Note, that's the third time.
Yes. This is his third time retiring because he cannot get a fight because he wants too much money and no one's going to fight him for it. So he just, instead of basically being around the UFC, waiting for a fight, he's just going to be, okay, I retire again. If you eventually find me a fight, I'll come back. But until that time, I'm just going to retire. And live off that proper 12 endorsement.
I was gonna say, it's like he's got enough money at this point. He cannot need more.
Right now it's not about the money. It's about finding a worthy opponent, which he doesn't want to go up or down in weight classes. So that's very limiting because they also announced Stipe Miocic versus Daniel Cormier fight again. fight number three. That's a heavyweight fight. And so unless Conor McGregor wants to put on a
Bulk
couple
up.
pounds and fight
Yeah.
from the heavyweight division.
You know what, though? If this means that I get to hear less about Conor McGregor and the stupid things he says, then awesome. I don't want to hear from him ever again. Moving on. Let's talk about a little bit of college sports, as there's been some movement in the college sports world this week. At least
so
5. Go on.
Yeah, so as California is not the only state to reopen, the NCAA has announced that, I think we reported on this a week or two ago, that schools can begin opening and allowing practices following state guidelines.
Yeah.
And speaking of the Alabama flag, as we brought that up earlier.
So things are rough disease-wise in Alabama, because at least 5 University of Alabama football players have tested positive for COVID-19 after a group workout. So they open up right up and they immediately find out that there's trouble. USC, meanwhile, here in California, has officially welcomed back Reggie Bush today.
Yes, this is officially today.
Following his 10-year NCAA mandated disassociation from USC. So that means all restrictions and prohibitions on his involvement with the school officially have been lifted.
Right. This means they can now start showing Reggie Bush highlights on USC. They can erect the shrine back up to him, and they can start using his name in recruiting videos.
Weird.
Yep. This is also comes on the heels, as we have announced on this very podcast, about players being paid to play at a collegiate level. Yeah. And that's the exact reason why Reggie Bush was basically banned.
So this would be a good time to extend the olive branch.
His trophies away.
Yes. So yeah, you're wondering probably, so that pretty much does it with sports, but you're probably wondering about one sport that we left out. Well, that's because our first story is all about it.
Because it may or may not happen.
We will see. Flip a coin here, because we're going to talk about the future of baseball.
All right. Can I put this as possible story of the year?
Yeah, this is insane. This whole thing has been insane.
All right.
So here's the deal. There is a dispute, as you know, between the two parties of baseball, the players and the league. At the heart of the dispute,
I know.
Yeah. At the heart of the dispute is an agreement the two parties signed on March 26th, which stipulated that players' salaries would be prorated for the numbers of games played. The players say they consider the issue of compensation settled and will not accept anything less. It will not be lowballed. The league, however, points to language that requires good faith discussion about the economic feasibility of playing games in empty stadiums, a hypothetical that was once hypothetical that has now become the reality.
Right. I want to point out here real quickly that this deal was made on March 26th.
Yes.
Basically 3 weeks into preseason, into training camp, and 2 weeks after everything got shut down.
Yes. So they still
not knowing how long it was going to be like this.
Exactly. They were assuming that they were going to be opening up in July and everything would be cool. That's no longer the case.
Mm-hmm.
So the league says it must gain further concessions on player pay to help cover what it describes as severe losses from a year with no fans in attendance. No fans mean no ticket sales, mean no merch sales, no food sales. Huge deduction.
No concessions, no stadium, revenue. No parking.
All of the above.
And very limited, I guess, on the broadcasting as well.
Yes. So the league submitted a proposal on Monday, which called for a 76-game schedule beginning in mid-July, with players guaranteed to earn 50% of their prorated salaries. They would receive an additional 25% if the playoffs happened as planned, protecting the owners against the growing fear that a pandemic resurgence could lead to their cancellation. According to the current CBA, the players are not allowed to strike. which leads to an interesting debate when the CBA expires next year. So basically what we're seeing here is a stalemate. The league is basically saying nothing's happening. No agreement is being made until you guys take less pay, because we cannot operate unless we account for the damages, like the money lost from not having fan attended games.
Right.
The players are saying, yeah, but no, we're the players. There's no games without us. We refuse to play unless we get what we agreed that we were getting.
See, a typical baseball season is 162 games. The MLB Players Association originally submitted 112 games.
Mm-hmm.
So it'd be prorated off the 112, difference of about 80%.
Yeah. But the league wants that 76 game season, which
they even original counter was down to 40.
Yeah. So it cuts it down further. They want that 112 money without going down to 76 game money. So
right,
and they cannot
at that
strike.
point, what point does it make sense to continue playing?
Yeah. Right. It doesn't. The players are right. It doesn't make any sense.
And this isn't talking about like the players who are getting paid millions of dollars. You're talking about players of everyone else who get paid the league minimum of $500,000.
Yeah, players all the way down the roster who are not household names that are making minimum and can't. And like in reality, like you would think that athletes playing sports in a time of a pandemic should probably be paid more, not less. It's crazy that the league thinks that there's any leverage that they have.
I wonder if they can file for hazardous pay.
Yeah, I don't know how that works. I don't know if there's an OSHA equivalent like going on here. Like it's a job like any job, right? You would think.
Right. They get paid it as a job. That is their job to go out and play baseball.
I don't know. But yeah, it sucks though, because any other year we would have seen a strike. We would have seen the players just be like, all right, no, we're calling a strike. We're not going to even play. No matter what you decide, we're not your pawns. But now they can't even do that.
Yes, but here's the interesting thing. They can force them to go out there and play baseball. But can they force them to play baseball?
Right, exactly. You can force them to go out there, but are they going to do the game of baseball? That is the question.
If you're having any confusion of what I'm talking about or what I'm suggesting, there's a great South Park episode where they try and do exactly this, of not play baseball and lose games so they don't have to play baseball anymore.
The crazy thing is this all follows the last season, which was literally immediately after it ended, tailed with controversy over a cheating scandal. This has been the craziest 2 years of baseball. Man, did I pick a weird time to start paying attention.
It's okay. The last time the MLB striked was in 1994.
Yeah.
And you know what happened 3 years after that? When Mark McGwire and Sammy Sosa in their whole steroid era trying to go after the Babe Ruth's home run record.
Yes.
So this means we could lead right into that.
Well, I mean, unless they bring back all those drugs, maybe, but hopefully not. So yeah, it's a weird time for baseball. Who the hell knows how this is going to end? I cannot see this resolving. I think they're just going to be stuck at a stalemate. And the league, unless the league finally just says, fine, I don't think the players will play baseball. They especially won't play baseball.
Are you telling me they're not playing baseball here?
Yeah, they're not playing a good game of baseball here.
This actually goes into a bigger thing, which we talked about last week when the Players Association submitted their proposal, was that they are willing to take less games, but they want the owners to open up their books so they can see like how much money will you be losing, what is an actual number we can come to, instead of just blindly saying, this is what we're offering, that's it.
Yeah.
Full stop. Like the players want a reason why this is happening, why they need to come down to this number. And if they can possibly, put that money on the back end for next season, or say for the next for 2021 or 2022 season, the players get part of like the ticket sales or the merchandise or something after that.
Yeah. There could be some sort of concessions made.
Hmm.
A concession.
Hey, just call it the Concessions Act, where every hot dog you purchase goes towards
Every
a player.
soda and hot dog combo. You're helping. They can even advertise at the little stand, be like, "You're helping out the players by
They
buying this
advertise
combo."
it 20 minutes before the game on the big jumbotron.
Go buy a combo and support your player.
Thank you, Maria Menounos.
And I'm like, yes, thank you, Maria Menounos. Anyways, let's stop talking about baseball, even though I could talk about it for the rest of the podcast. Let's talk about the television program Cops.
Okay, so not the actual cops.
No, God,
Okay.
no. No, the television show Cops, which you're probably thinking, wait a minute, hasn't that been off the air for years? Well, it would make sense that you would think that, because its original station, Fox, has not aired it in a long time. However, it has never stopped being on TV. It has been airing on the Paramount Network, formerly known as Spike TV.
Right, because Spike TV picked up the rights, and then when it got transitioned over into Paramount Network, they
Yes,
just kept
they
it going, kept the contract.
So yeah, it's been running on those pair of networks for 6 years, but that run has come to an end. Cops, of course, premiered way back in 1989 on Fox and aired for 25 seasons on that original network until it was resurrected in 2013 when Spike TV ordered new episodes. The 33rd season, by the way, was slated to premiere yesterday before cancellation. It was off air since June 1st of this month, I guess, of this year, right?
Yes.
I guess that includes repeats.
Yeah, they don't count repeats.
And was pulled with no plans to run any additional episodes. Additionally, Network A&E pulled last weekend's episodes of Live PD, also amid continued nationwide protests happening, as we talked about last week, from George Floyd's death, among other reasons. A&E is still evaluating the right time to bring it back, though the return this weekend appears unlikely at the moment. So, cop shows. We may have finally seen the last days of them, potentially.
Of unscripted cop shows.
Yeah, unscripted cop shows.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been interesting to see these little changes that are going to add up to be big changes between the Confederate flag stuff with NASCAR and this, and other things kind of coming out of this movement. It goes to show you that demonstration does change things. Like, people are becoming way
in
more
2 weeks
aware.
we've had
Yeah.
huge wave of changes.
Yeah.
So stuff works, stuff gets done.
Turns out, who
Yeah.
knew, right?
Right.
But yeah, it's heartening to see kind of these people who have just been airing the show, basically showing like cops and like in their normal day to day. I say normal, but I should probably say normal. And purported for entertainment. And yeah, people finally realized, hey, wait a minute, what is this show? What are we showing here? What's going on with these cops? And so yeah, it's regardless of how you feel about the current events and police, it's a good sign to see people at least thinking about using this as entertainment and what that means.
Mm-hmm. I don't have it written here, but if you want to do your own research on it, there's a bit of a controversy with A&E and Live PD, where apparently they have footage of police officers brutally murdering someone, but won't turn over those tapes because they consider it their property.
Right.
You can do your own research on that if you want.
You can. Oh boy.
But yeah,
Yeah.
it's a heavy subject, but I think it's time to move on. This will be interesting what they go on with scripted cop shows from here. Wasn't there supposed to be a Law and Order hate crimes unit?
Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen again.
No?
Or I don't think that'll happen anymore.
No?
We'll see.
All right.
Speaking of real quick aside about cops, in a class that I had in college, one of the ones that I don't think you were in this class with me, but we had a dude come in as a guest speaker who claimed, I don't know if this is true, he claimed to have been the guy who pitched Cops to Fox. That was one of his stories he told. Apparently he ended up doing other stuff at the network later on, but one of the things he said was really early at his job there is he pitched the idea to Fox execs. He was like, hey, like, why don't we do a show where we just tape police officers, like arresting suspects, and like it blew their minds.
Reality series was born.
Yeah, exactly. And like, yeah, I don't know if he was like just making that up or whether he was actually a dude, but like, yeah, I never actually looked it up, but yeah. So I may or may not have been in the same room as the dude who pitched Cops. weird things. Anyway,
hey, if you want to hear weird things, Vanderbilt Rules may not be coming back.
I wonder.
Yeah, apparently 4 of their stars got pulled from the show after social media caught up with them.
Yeah.
I won't put stars around those names there, but
yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, needless to say, I mean, we've already knew this was going to be the case, but yes, the television landscape is going to look a lot different after this is all over.
Like I said, expect a lot of game shows because they're cheap to make.
It really makes me wonder about the fate going forward of Brooklyn Nine-Nine beyond this season. Because
they
are
said
people going to
address it.
Yeah, they'd address it, but are people going to be ready to laugh at a cop show? I don't know.
I don't know, but they have handled like tough subjects like these before.
They have, but unless they write a finale where like Jake quits the squad, I don't know how they I don't know how they get it. I don't know how they address this.
What if that is the finale? Like we're just gonna end Brooklyn Nine-Nine with this season with them.
Maybe, but you can't write a whole season around that. You have to write an episode though. That's the tricky part.
I don't know. You can write a whole season about 2 people getting together. I'm sure you can write a whole season around a squad leaving.
I have a strong feeling that we do not see another season. That's my thought right now. Is like I feel like what we saw of this last season may have been the last episode's Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Or they pull a Friends and just don't ever address it. Like Friends never addressed the 9/11 attacks.
I would really. I don't think you can have a show like that and not address things these days. I think it's not the 90s. Like it's not the early 2000s anymore. I think things have changed.
Well, no, I'm not saying that that's what's gonna happen. Because Terry Crews has been very vocal.
Yeah, I don't think you can. What I'm saying is, I don't think you can write that show now. I think, and you especially can't do the what's the name of the current show that's not Roseanne anymore?
The Connors.
Yeah, the Connors. I don't think you can The Connors Brooklyn Nine-Nine. I don't think you can all of a sudden write a show where they're not cops anymore.
Call it Brooklyn PI?
No, because that's still a cop. No, it's like, no, what I'm saying is if they wanted to write a show with those characters not as cops, they could, but I don't think I don't think that happens. That would be very strange. Anyways, let's move on. You watched question marks on television, maybe?
I watched some question mark television.
Okay.
So yeah, as I kind of quipped, game shows are coming back. One of those game shows that came back is Who Wants to Be a Millionaire?
Yes.
with host Jimmy Kimmel.
Yes.
I have not watched that.
I haven't watched any of it yet either.
Instead,
And I love Millionaire. I wanted to watch it, and it's just completely off of my radar.
Mm-hmm. Well, because it's Celebrity Millionaire. It's not the same.
Exactly.
But if you are interested in Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, and if you remember the controversy they had way back when the show began about someone cheating with the coughing to the right answer,
I do recall.
I have the show for you.
Okay.
It's called Quiz. It's on AMC, and it chronicles the first 2 episodes. I don't know how long it's going to go, but I assume miniseries event because you can't have seasons of this thing.
Yeah.
But it chronicles the rise of Who Wants to Be a Millionaire in the UK, the success it had and the hype, and how this group of people basically tried to game the system by winning the $1 million. And
Sold.
the whole court order that preceded the winning of the $1 million and how they broke it down and caught them cheating and whether or not they came to justice.
Yeah, you sold me. You sold me. I'm watching this.
Oh,
bye. I'm I'm not watching it right now. No, I'm definitely gonna check this out because that sounds great.
Yeah, that's not what I thought it was. When I saw an ad for it, it was like, oh, quiz.
Yeah.
Oh, it says Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? Game show. Okay, I think this is a game show on AMC. Let me record it.
No, that doesn't make that should have been your first flag. Have been like, no, there wouldn't be a game show on it. Things aren't that bad.
I don't know. I thought it was, hey, movie game show on AMC. That's right up my alley.
Yeah, but no, it's not.
Yeah, it's about the Who Wants to Be a Millionaire big controversy about cheating and if it's cheating and like basically the movie quiz show, but in serialized form with present day actual controversy.
No, that sounds great.
It's fantastic.
Sounds wonderful.
I love it.
Need this in my life.
I'm going to watch this thing. AMC has a hit on their hands here. I don't know what they could do next. Like what other things they could do.
We'll see.
But we'll see. But yeah, that like if you're at all interested in that, oh my God, it's so juicy and so good.
Yeah, it sounds good.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, what else?
This isn't a thought, but just a quick jot down that Comic-Con will be coming home. So, as we know, Comic-Con convention's not going to happen.
Yeah.
But instead, they're going to do Comic-Con at home, which will run July 22nd through the July 26th. And the events will be free to virtually anyone and virtually attend.
Yeah. No, this is cool. A lot of similar conventions are doing this. And so, yeah, it makes sense. I mean, why bar access? Just like let people watch the streams of the things.
I wouldn't be surprised if they made this move after the Sundance on Amazon Prime and after the first looks that all the networks did.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, this will mean that everybody will get to see the same news at the same time, which is always exciting.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Yeah,
looking forward to that.
Maybe E3 will be exactly like that.
No, it's not going to be like that. But kind of. It's like that, but like separated into 18 billion things, which is why we haven't really reported on it here on this podcast, because it would be impossible to do a roundup of literally everything that's happening. So my approach for the video game section is just going to be wrap up the things that came out of those after they've happened, instead of hyping up the things that haven't happened yet.
Because what is hype may never
Except
die.
for this Sony thing, because it is news that it got rescheduled. So.
Yes.
Anyway, but that's getting ahead of ourselves. I have a real brief thought. I just wanted to say we finished the big flower fight on Netflix.
Okay.
We were all right with how it ended. Not exactly who we wanted to win, but yeah, it was an entertaining, if middle of the road reality show. I shared some of the stuff that you had said last time about it to Christy, and she more or less agreed with you, but that didn't deter her enjoyment of the show. Mm-hmm. She did agree that, yeah, it's like, it's very like, there's no twist. it's very like middle, middle stakes.
It's very
like,
straightforward in its
Yeah, it's
approach,
straightforward.
which is not necessarily a bad thing.
No,
It
not.
just doesn't
Yeah.
grab me as an audience, and that's fine.
It ended up, we kept with it because we liked what it was doing enough, and that it was calming and relaxing
Mhm.
kind of thing to watch. Never got too dramatic. Yeah. So if you like very calm and British reality shows, I still recommend it. It's a quick watch too, at only 8 episodes. So,
Okay.
but that's, I think, the only calendar year 2020 thing I watched this week. Next week, though, I'll be able to talk about a couple of things. Big week for Netflix animation this week. Friday sees the return of Kipo Age of the Wonder Beast, which is season 2 of the show I talked about a few weeks ago.
That's fast.
Yeah, already season 2 happening on that. We're excited to see that. Also, the English dub of Pokemon Journeys, the new Pokemon series, debuts on Netflix, its new home, I guess, on Friday as well. So,
Ooh.
yes, the next real season of the Pokemon series, this is the one where it's going to take Ash through different regions. It's not specifically a Sword and Shield anime. It is taking liberties with all sorts of different areas of the Pokemon world.
Right. Ash pairs up with Go.
Go, yes.
Yes.
Partner Go, who
Partner
is
Pokemon
inspired
Go.
by Pokemon Go. Yes. So we're going to watch, Christy and I are going to watch that together. We're going to see how that goes. We'll report back. I'm concerned because I feel like I liked a lot of the cool stuff they were doing with the animation of the Sun and Moon series, that it's kind of disappointing to see
And they
them
went
go
away
to a
from that
more-
animation.
Yeah, they're going to more plain. It looks closer to what they were doing on X and Y.
Right,
So-
which was a really good series.
Which still was great, yeah. So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what that ends up being. I've seen parts of the Japanese version subbed of the first episode specifically, so it'll be interesting to see what the English dub is.
Yeah, same. When it first premiered, I was interested in watching some of it, but translation and reading of dubs, not really my thing.
You have to be in a certain mood to read a show.
Yeah. Speaking of reading shows, I have a bone to pick with HBO Max.
Already? Wow, okay.
Yeah. Because I looked up their Crunchyroll catalog.
Yes.
None of that is dubbed.
What?
Yeah.
It's all subs?
It's all subs.
I guess they figure that anybody who cares will want the subs.
I didn't see any mode to place it into dub mode.
Okay. That's possible.
I was
that
mainly
might be...
looking at what was it? Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood.
So
something that's been done already.
I know the technology exists on their service because if you go to the Studio Ghibli movies, there is an option there. There are two. You do have access to the subbed versions as well as the localized Disney-fied dubs. So if you have both of those things in the Ghibli section, so it would be weird if they didn't give you the option for Crunchyroll.
Mm-hmm.
Unless it just shows that do not have a sub or a dub.
No, with Brotherhood,
It does.
Yeah, they definitely have a sub or a dub.
They ran that on Cartoon Network for a while, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, but also their format on computer, on mobile, not on mobile, on desktop is really weird. It doesn't take the full screen.
Mm-hmm.
It cuts it off. So it shows the cast and crew. It's really weird in desktop format. But I guess it's formatted specifically for mobile and gaming systems and TV. But for some reason the desktop is weird like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's either full screen on your whole screen or chopped off. It's not like Disney Plus where the whole screen becomes your theater. No, it's a window in the screen becomes the theater. Yeah, check it out. It's really weird.
That seems funky. Yeah. I haven't watched any of the Crunchyroll stuff yet because, well, you know me.
Yeah.
There's nothing for me there yet. But yeah, that's interesting though. I wonder what's going on with that.
Mm-hmm. Also, who owns the rights to Hanna-Barbera stuff?
That's under the Turner umbrella. So technically that would be something that would eventually show up on HBO Max.
Okay, eventually, because they only have like Scooby-Doo on it and Dexter's Lab.
Yeah, no. It seems like they're withholding a lot of Cartoon Network stuff.
Yeah, because like we know of their catalog and what they can have, it seems like they're very picking
Yeah.
like what they want to show initially.
Well, one thing I noticed is that on some of the networks, on some of the sections they have, like the Cartoon Network section and the TCM section and the Crunchyroll section, they refer to them as collections.
Yes.
Which I think is key. It's basically that's their wording telling you this is not going to have everything.
Right.
So
Briefly on that TCM, if you noticed, they took off Gone with the Wind.
Oh, I did not notice that. It was there when I first checked.
Yeah, check it now. It's gone.
It's gone.
Yeah, there's a whole Hollywood Reporter article on it.
Yeah.
They pulled it for racial reasons.
I mean, yes, there's been a conversation about that movie for about the last few years here. And so, yeah, it made sense. It makes sense for them to do that.
Right, but, you could also as added for historical importance in Hattie McDaniels.
Yeah, I mean, it's the stuff that they did for some of the Looney Tunes DVDs back in the day, right? The whole, like, splash thing at the beginning, basically saying, hey, like, this does not represent us now, but we're going to show it in its original format because we don't want to pretend it didn't exist.
Right.
Right.
And that's Warner Brothers as well.
Right, exactly.
So clearly, they have something already available.
They have something they could just pop in and use.
Mm-hmm.
Which by the way, they do not, I don't think, have any of those Looney Tunes in the Looney Tunes collection.
I didn't see any of those Looney Tunes.
They've stripped out all of the questionable ones.
Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, I don't know. I don't know what it depends on, I guess, what they think that HBO Max is. Is it what will be the most popular, or is it curatorial? Is it the thing for these hardcore people? And I honestly do not think that they're making that service for the hardcore of hardcore. I do not think that they care what the people who want it to be a complete collection of everything think.
Well, if that was the case, wouldn't you think they'd have the Dark Knight Rises trilogy on there? It's not.
Again, there's other things happening, though. There's other moving parts, other deals probably made elsewhere. And I think that probably falls into that category.
Right.
So.
But yeah, I can see the potential for this thing. It's just not there yet. But I think that's also because they want it to grow.
Yeah, I think it's pretty good. It's just not perfect. But then again, I don't think any of the streaming services out there right now are perfect at all. I think all of them have their weaknesses. And yeah, HBO Max has some too. But I think, though, if I was to rank them right now, it would probably be number one for me.
I don't know. Where's my director's commentary on stuff?
That's true. That is lacking. But keep in mind, though, Disney Plus still doesn't have the Simpsons commentaries when FX did on the Simpsons world. So
yeah, you're right.
Again, they're all flawed. They all don't have these things. Yeah, no, I would love some director's commentaries on all this shit. But again, that's not the audience.
Right.
We are not the audience for these things.
Now, hypothetically, business idea, would you pay a premium for all that commentary?
So yeah, I guess that would be a way to like incentivize like a step up subscription.
A plus.
Yeah, like a HBO Max. Oh God, that branding sucks. Can you imagine HBO Max Plus?
Disney Plus Max.
Yeah, right. Like, when you name your service Max, you literally cannot name the next tier because how do you outmax Max? You are already at the max.
It's Max A for audio commentary.
I don't know. There's ways they could do it. I bet they never do.
I'm just saying, it's there. There is potential for more money on the table.
If you want to pitch like a Criterion-esque streaming service that is literally just we get movie commentaries and that's all this is, then
Like, if
try
you
to fix
just-
that.
Like, if you want to watch the movie, go somewhere else. But if you want
Yeah.
the commentary that we just pull from anywhere and
It's kind of
curate,
like how the ex-MST people, the ex-Mystery Science Theater people were doing riff tracks. It's like that's the concept behind riff tracks, which is like you pay us to download this MP3, you play this MP3 of us talking while you're watching the movie somewhere else. That's their business model.
Yeah, but overall, I mean, you can take like interviews from people who talk about like specific scenes from like Vanity Fair or Wired or somewhere else and compile that onto a movie soundtrack. So when it hits on the screen, you're listening to the commentary of someone else.
That's what I'm basically talking about. There are things that have done that before, but to do it in an official capacity would be a nightmare to organize. Like, one person cannot handle that much work. Like, good luck. But what I'm saying is I don't know if this is a good business for you to get into. Imagine trying to have to wrangle all of those rights to the people who wrote those articles, to the people who recorded those commentaries, to the people who made the movies. It would just be a disaster. Like, if you're doing everything under board, though, you'd be sued. Your pants would be sued off.
They can sue me for the $0 I'm making on it.
Yeah, I would not put that much work into something that you are not getting paid for, personally.
So back to the podcast.
Again, different amount of work we're talking about here. Anyways, let's move on this podcast because we talked
cancellations
about
and renewals.
Forever. We need to move on.
Cancellations
and renewals. Let's talk about them. Netflix has canceled Next in Fashion. So apparently Next in Fashion is nothing because it's canceled.
I'm sorry for those of you who liked it.
After just one season. As we mentioned, Cops is canceled on Paramount Network. Hulu has canceled Reprisal after one season, so it will not receive a reprisal. Hulu has also canceled their show Harlots after 3 seasons. NBC has, God thankfully, canceled Perfect Harmony after one terrible season.
Called it.
That show sucked.
Yeah, it did.
And has also canceled Lincoln Rhyme after just one season. I don't even remember what Lincoln Rhyme was.
It's a cop show. I think it's full title was like Lincoln Rhyme, the Bone Collector.
Yeah, I don't remember that at all.
Yeah. Also, I think they canceled Perfect Harmony because they can use all that music for Zoe's Infinite playlist or Extraordinary playlist.
Like, put it all over there.
Yep.
Anyway, let's move into deaths real quick. 2 quick ones. Corey Fisher, age 75, was an actor in MASH and Brewster McCloud. And Bonnie Pointer, age 69. As her last name implies, she was a co-founder of the Pointer Sisters. As you point.
As I point that out.
Pointing it out. All right. Speaking of music, let's move into music. I hand this over to you.
All right. I'm going to start music with the Billboard. I'm going to start the Billboard with the Hot 100.
How hot is it?
It is so hot that we've been doing number 1. It's Rockstar by DaBaby and Roddy Ricch.
There's no Lil Baby. Oh, no, there is Lil Baby this week.
He's
Should have saved that for Lil Baby.
It's DaBaby. Number 2, we have Sauvage by Megan Thee Stallion and Beyonce. Blinding Lights by The Weeknd.
Mm-hmm.
Say So by Doja Cat and Nicki Minaj. And at number 5, Rain on Me by Lady Gaga and Ariana Grande.
A lot of ants.
A lot of ants, yeah, as we pointed out last week.
No ants in the
Even
album
though Lady
chart,
Gaga
though.
got number 5, she tops the Billboard 200
Indeed.
with her albums chart, Chromatica. At number 2, we have Life on the Flip Side by Jimmy Buffett.
Yep, Jimmy Buffett surprising everybody, getting a number 2 album this week.
New Jimmy Buffett album, number 2. Number 3, My Turn by Lil Baby. At number 4, Wanna by Gunna. And at number 5, High Off Life by Future.
Yep, some familiar faces here, but Gaga's on top.
And Jimmy Buffett, familiar face.
Somehow.
Yes, that's Jimmy Buffett.
Yep, that's the only one.
If you didn't like any of those albums, we have new releases. First up, To Love is to Live by Janae Beth. I assume that's how you say it because there's an H.
Yeah,
in
that
there.
H really throws you off, huh?
Oh yeah, that's why you go Janae because there's an H in there.
Nature.
We also have Pick Me Up Off the Floor by Norah Jones.
It was
Yes.
that where Norah Jones has
That
been.
Norah Jones.
Yeah, that she's been on the floor. Nobody
Yep.
picked her up.
Don't walk over her anymore. Pick her up. And lastly, we have Pop Smoke by Pop Smoke.
Which is a posthumous release, as you might recall, because Pop Smoke passed away earlier this year.
Yes, I remember
Yes.
talking about that.
Yes.
Which is why when I
Very
saw his name up here, I was like, wait
Yep.
a minute.
Yes. That Pop Smoke.
All right. Well, wait, does this mean he's eligible for the Grammys then?
I don't know, but we have a whole story about those Grammys because they were in the news today.
Well, yeah, because they made some changes.
Changes.
Some announced changes.
Changes.
Changes. The Grammy Awards will cease using the term urban in its awards and language as part of the latest round of annual changes to its rules and guidelines.
Indeed.
Along with the changes, which include updates to the Best New Artist category, Latin, R&B, and rap fields, nominations review committees of the Academy, the Recording Academy, will make the Grammy Award rules and guidelines book publicly available for the first time ever.
Yeah, so if
no
you want to
more
see
guessing.
literally all the rules, you can now Google that and find it.
It's amazing this wasn't done already,
Right.
or at least not public by the Recording Academy.
Yeah.
But hey, now it's available. Yeah. So, as we said, there's new rule changes. Best Urban Contemporary Album has been renamed to Best Progressive R&B Album. See what they did there?
Mhm.
To appropriately categorize and describe this subgenre. Best Rap Song, Best Rap/Sung Performance has been renamed Best Melodic Rap Performance to represent the inclusivity of the growing hybrid performance trends within the rap genre.
So, real quick about that one. That one's interesting because prior, the nominees and winners for the best rap sung performance have traditionally been, as you would imagine, duets, with rap verses being supplemented with a sung chorus. This is where you would find like that Eminem and Rihanna song and stuff like that. That's traditionally what this was. This change, though, changes that because basically the change they're making here acknowledges sung songs by rappers. For example, Drake's catalog fits here. Future fits here. Is basically this allows for more rap songs to be nominated for more categories, which is overall a good thing.
Well, it takes them out of the R&B section,
Yes.
which they clearly are not.
So yeah, this is where you're going to see a Drake song is
All right.
here now, like your sung Drake songs.
Mm-hmm. Well, also, Latin Pop Album has been renamed Latin Pop or Urban Album and migrate the genres of Latin Urban and represent the current state and prominent representation in the Latin Urban genres. Also, or lastly rather, there
Mhm.
is no longer a specified maximum number of releases prohibiting artists from entering the Best New Artist category.
Yes. So there was previously a cap of 30 released songs that if you were beyond that, you could not qualify. But because the definition of release is so nebulous these days, they're now basically allowing a committee basically to talk it through and be like, if they feel like that artist had a breakthrough year, they can qualify for this award now. So it'll
Okay,
be interesting.
that's interesting.
Yeah.
But I mean, still, shouldn't they cap it at like albums? But then I guess then you have to define how long
Right.
or what is an album.
Exactly. This is, I think, smart. It's like smart enough to like kind of ease that conversation a bit. However, it will make the opposite problem, the problem that often stems from best new artist, still even more possibly a problem, which is of course the internet being like, they're not new, they've been around for years. This
You
makes it
mean like
easier.
Lizzo being a new artist but being around since 2016?
Exactly. This is going to make it easier for people, for artists who the internet already knows about, to win best new artist.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see.
We'll see. I mean, until it becomes an online vote, the internet
Yeah.
will never have their hands on it.
Right, exactly. So I feel good about overall most of these changes because, yeah, honestly, let's be real. The word urban has been like basically code for black for decades at this point. There's new
It was
reason.
code when it was first introduced.
Right. It's never not been code. So for them finally to just be like, okay, these are just genre awards, like, is just better.
Mm-hmm.
Except their insistence on keeping Latin as a descriptor is maybe not as good. Also, they're keeping the term urban in Latin pop or urban album or Latin rock, or there's one of them where they're keeping the urban term. So it's like they seem to like taking one step, like several steps forward and like a few steps back. But
that's always the case.
The Academy has had a rough couple of years.
Well, what are you going to change from Latin to what?
Well, because there's names for the genres within people who are in Latin music. Like, I'm not the person to speak for this, like I would recommend that if you have questions to seek out artists in that genre and see what they have to say about this, because I have seen several reacting on Twitter today. So yeah, it's interesting that they're willing to at least make some changes. That part is heartening to me. So
right, because like do you classify Bad Bunny or Ricky Martin?
Exactly. Yeah. It's like,
and like
they
in the
could
same
just
thing
be,
category,
because Bad Bunny
and
also happens
Pitbull
to
in
just
there
be,
as well.
Bad Bunny also just happens to be I don't know, a rapper.
Right.
We could just compete in the rap categories, Like, basically the argument is, why pigeonhole when there's no reason to, when a genre is a genre.
Mm-hmm.
So
Well,
yeah,
I think we've covered pretty much all genres except for like EDM. But that brings us to the next story.
Sure does.
Yeah, because coming to Stockholm, Sweden, not this year, but next year, 2021, yes, the Avicii Experience, which is a tribute museum to the late DJ, producer, songwriter, and all-around hitmaker who left a legacy of timeless songs, including, but not limited to, Wake Me Up and Levels. The artist's real name, Tim Bergling, died in 28 of an apparent suicide at the age of 28. The Avicii Experience will include an immersive interaction exhibit that follows Bergling's musical journey from bedroom tinkerer to global success. Through memorabilia, never-before-seen photos, video, and music, including unreleased tracks, the museum promises an inside look at his creative process. Tickets on sale now.
Yeah, that seemed neat. It was kind of a slow week besides that Grammy news, so this was something interesting.
Right, besides the Coachella news.
Yeah. Yeah. Again, though, we knew it wasn't happening.
Yeah, I
Like,
know. We
it
knew that was going to
surprises
happen.
no
This
one.
this we did not know was going to happen.
No, yeah, this we did not know what was going to happen.
No, but we did. I mean, this
Tribute.
just goes to show like the influence that people have.
Oh yeah, yeah. It goes to show you like how many people knew him and that largely didn't know anything else about EDM.
Mm-hmm. I mean,
Yeah.
he was a bridging gap, but to bring
Yeah.
EDM to the mainstream.
Yeah, I don't think you would have seen as much crossover success in the pop world if it wasn't for those Avicii songs.
Right. I just don't want it to basically glorify that he died young.
No, and I don't think it's what they're doing. I think they're just saying, like, let's focus on his career.
Right.
Which is smart.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's move on.
Yeah.
Well, real quick, we have a big blank here next to music thoughts, so I'm guessing neither of us listened to anything this week.
No, because my music thought was about Coachella being canceled and then possible Stagecoach being canceled.
It's gonna be canceled. Yeah.
Officially, as of like an hour ago. Okay, officially, Riverside County has shut down Stagecoach.
Yeah, no, not happening.
Which we kind of suggested, kind of hinted at, but this means that everything is probably going to get moved to 2021 now.
You will continue to enjoy Stage Couch, which continues to happen.
Yeah, Stage Couch is now still in full effect. Or Stay Coach, if you don't want to leave your city.
Yes, Stay Coach, yeah, that works.
Golf Coach, if you want to just go to golf courses in the desert. But this frees up my birthday weekend now. Hey!
Hey! Also, probably no macaroni and cheese festival either, though.
Probably not, though.
Probably not. No.
I don't think I'm going to San Diego this year.
No, probably not. Oh well.
I'll have my own mac and cheese fest.
Yeah, digital. Let's do a digital mac and cheese fest where we're all sitting in our own homes eating mac and cheese. That'd be great. Let's do it. Okay, let's move on into video games then, shall we?
Yeah, let's start wrapping this up with video games as we have new releases.
Yeah, a few.
We have Samurai Showdown, Neo Geo Collection for the PC, Warborn here. Warborn for the PlayStation, Xbox, Switch, and PC.
So, doesn't Warborn sound like the most generic name you could name a video game in the year 2020?
Yes.
I have no idea what this is.
I assume you're born into a war.
Maybe.
All right. We also have Desperados 3 for the PlayStation, Xbox, and PC.
I was definitely gonna make a Desperado joke here. Like, why don't you come to your senses and buy this game?
Beat you to it. We also have Disintegration for PlayStation, Xbox, and PC.
Do you think that's based on the album by The Cure?
Quite possibly. Although,
I don't think so.
Will you first be integrated until you disintegrate? And lastly, Summer in Mara for Switch and PC.
I don't know where Mara is.
But you're going to have Summer in her?
So obviously this is a light release week because everything got out of the way of next week's big release, which of course is The Last of Us 2.
Right.
So we'll get there.
I think I'm officially going to pick up.
I think I probably will also buy it.
I got a what's it called? Car insurance rebate.
Oh, cool.
From not driving for the past 3 months.
I promised one from my provider, State Farm, but it has not kicked in yet.
Yeah. Well, I got that check, so I think that's what it's going to go towards.
Nice. Good.
So
anyway.
Thank you, Auto Club, for providing me funds of time at Fontana and also The Last of Us.
Yes. Thank you, Auto Club. This podcast is not brought to you by Auto Club.
No, anyway. Neither is it brought to you by PlayStation, but that's not going to exclude it from being our first news story.
Yeah, so this is a follow-up.
So as we reported last week, PlayStation had to reschedule its announcement I guess they did that so they could run ads literally on everything I've seen on TV, targeting me, because I've seen the new date for the PlayStation event for the PS5 announcement probably 3 to 4 times a day leading up for the past couple days.
No, I've seen it a lot too on Twitter. It's like my every other Twitter ad is now this.
Yep.
So
They've
this
media
happens
blitzed
tomorrow.
us.
Tomorrow at 1 p.m. Pacific time. So of course it's happening after we record, so we will not talk about it this week.
Yep. I do think this brings up an interesting thing that if we do have anything like this, like big announcements on Thursday, that we just move to a Thursday show.
Yeah, we can kind of be fluid about that stuff as stuff happens. With the video game stuff being so weird and all over the place this year, yeah, we can definitely have that conversation.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, this means that next week we will have PS5 details. Tomorrow we'll have PS5 details, which we'll talk about next week.
Yes.
Hopefully including games announcements, hardware, and gameplay, question mark?
Perhaps.
Cross-buy, question mark?
So yeah, I will be watching this live tomorrow. So
let's see, this goes live at 1 p.m. Pacific time.
1 p.m. So yeah,
I should
I'll definitely be watching live.
I'll probably tune in live. I got nothing
not?
else going on, not like work or anything.
Yep.
All right, and lastly, the big news that everyone keeps talking about, or at least I keep seeing everywhere.
Yeah.
On my social media stuff. Destiny 2 had a big, or rather Bungie had a big announcement details on its next Destiny 2 event.
Yeah,
rather,
they basically made all their announcements at once, essentially. They were like, all right, let's just get everything on the table about the future of Destiny 2.
Yep. The next big expansion is Destiny 2, Beyond Light, coming September 22nd. It will kick off year 4 of Destiny 2, which will feature 4 more seasons of content. Beyond Light is more than just the next expansion. It's also the first expansion in a trilogy of releases, which will set the pace for Destiny 2 for the next 3 years. After Beyond Light in 2020, we'll get The Witch Queen in 2021 and Lightfall in 2022. This is the first time Bungie's revealed multiple expansions ahead of time, and it's the first set of directly connected expansion in the game's history. To reinforce its long-term commitment to Destiny 2, Bungie announced a new system of content rotation called the Destiny Content Vault. The studio will use this system to remove old, underplayed content from Destiny 2 and replace it with new content, both from expansions, seasons, and from Destiny 1. Bungie confirmed Destiny 2 for PS5 and Xbox Series X several weeks ago, but it didn't outline its plans until now. The next-gen versions of the game will run at 4K 60 frames per second, and it will be a free upgrade for PS4 and Xbox One owners as long as you stay in the same console family. You won't need to repurchase any expansions either, including Beyond Light. Destiny 2 will also support cross-gen crossplay and Bungie's aim for full cross-platform multiplayer in 2021. This is a lot of information that is great for players and possible rumors for the upcoming PS5 announcement.
Yeah, I mean, really this is basically just saying, like, no, they're doubling down on Destiny 2. There is no Destiny 3, is basically what they're saying here. It's like they have a roadmap, they have goals in mind. So they even, like, that content vault thing even basically says, like, they're not afraid to remove old stuff to make room for new stuff, which is really interesting. And I've never seen an approach like this for a live game, where they're just as willing to just be like, all right, let's move on. Let's move on. That was the past. Like, the only time I've ever seen this is World of Warcraft, an MMO.
That's what I was going to bring up, that it's only been
Yeah.
sitting on PC, that they moved the storyline ahead, never on a console.
Yeah, so it really goes to show you how dedicated they are to the audience for Destiny 2. My one worry, though, is how is the onboarding for new players at this point? Because I can imagine some people are probably reading this week and be like, I've never played it. Should I jump into Destiny 2? And I bet that it's probably a very weird experience starting Destiny 2 right now.
I bet it's the same experience for people who recently got GTA 5 for free.
Yeah.
That
Yeah,
they're
you're probably
jumping
right.
in basically new against people who are level 160, whatever,
Yeah.
and trying
It's
to
a
do the exact same
weird
missions.
situation to be in. But yeah, it's cool that they're doing so much work on it, though.
I mean, if I would have known that 3 years down the road they would still be putting out expansions for it, I still wouldn't buy the season pass because that's still too much money to put into the game. But the fact that they're doing it and there's a community out there that's very vocal and the developer Bungie is supporting it
Yeah.
is testament that companies can and should do this for their fan base.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, that does it for news. So I understand you played a brand new video game.
Yes, as I alluded to last week and at the top of the podcast, I bought a new game for the Nintendo Switch that I have been playing constantly. And not only have I been playing it, other people in my house have been playing it. And they can, yes, they are able to chime in, as they will, as we talk about Clubhouse Games, 51 worldwide games.
All right. What games are the best games and what games are the worst
Playing
games?
this game called Ludo, which is sort of like a knockoff version of Trouble, which is a lot of fun. And
Yeah.
Kristen's been working Mike in bowling, which is
Shows I had a weenie growing
Fun to
up.
Yeah. Awesome.
So yeah, because it's worldwide games, they have to use generic terms like
Yeah.
Ludo and not Trouble, and yacht instead of Yahtzee.
Yacht.
I learned how to play yacht last night.
Yes.
Love to see it.
Bowling, which uses Wii bowling physics. There's shooting games. There's a lot of games to play in this. I'm having a lot of fun playing them.
Cool.
There's darts. There's solitaire. There's spider solitaire. There's mahjong solitaire. There's regular mahjong. You can fish. You can play baseball. Golf. There's literally something in here for anyone to play.
Cool.
My only gripe right now is that you need multiple consoles to play certain games, like poker or stuff where you have a sole console. You can play these online, obviously, but then there's other games like Yahtzee, like bowling, like darts, where you assume, oh, you can have like as many people as you want playing on the same console. No, those games like that are limited to just 2 people. Only like Ludo, there's like only like 3 games, 3 or 4 games where you can have more than 3 people play at the same time on one console. That's a big, basically like, why are you limiting yourself?
Yeah.
Like golf is 2 people, bowling, 2 people, dominoes, 2 people. It's limited in that capacity, but it does basically means that you should play online with other people who have it. Also, because of the near field communication with it, that one person who owns the game can basically broadcast it to other people who own a Switch.
Yeah.
So that is something to look forward to when I meet other people who have a Switch that would also like to play in person.
Someday, perhaps, when we're allowed to see people again.
You're always allowed to see people. It's the hanging around people.
Yeah, that's where the problem starts. Anyway.
Anyways, I am having lots of fun playing the Clubhouse games. I'm going in order, trying to, as I do, master all games and get the golden trophy next to each of them, which can be a struggle because some of them, like Yacht, require a lot of luck, and hopefully you don't get screwed over by the CPU, which has happened to me on several occasions.
Of course.
Yep. But it's fun. Playing blackjack is one of the multiplayer games.
Yeah, that sounds fun.
Like we all played blackjack the other night and went like like high card, double downs, stuff like that. So it's fun. There's lots of games to play with everyone. I just wish that there were more games to play with more people on a single console. Like for fishing, there's spots of multiple spots. There's 4 spots to fish, but it's a 2-player game. Like, why can't that be 4? Like bowling, why are you limiting it to 2? It's just weird, arbitrary rules to where it limits it to 2 and not go on to like 3 or 4. But at the same time, I understand that most people probably don't have that many people in their house. But, come on, it's golf. Why are you limiting it to 2? It just doesn't make sense. But that's literally my only gripe. Otherwise, I'm having lots of fun playing this.
Yeah, otherwise it seems like you get what you pay for, which is 51 games.
Yep. And with the ability to take it online, if you have that pass, it's great if you're just playing it by yourself, too. Or if you have a lone Switch.
Yeah. Seems pretty cool.
Yep. But I'm having lots of fun with it.
Yeah.
So, maybe about
cool
positive reviews. Go buy it.
Indeed.
Yep.
Okie doke. Well, I didn't play anything besides more baseball. I didn't stream it this time, but still cooking. I stopped doing the dynamic difficulty though because Hall of Fame, as you might imagine, was kicking my ass. So
yes, I realized that too.
I've
turn off
on
dynamic
veteran
difficulty in order to have fun in that game.
Yeah, I've settled on veteran. I think my ERA is still under 2 though. I think I'm pitching at 175-ish.
Yeah, but you're a closer. You need to bring that down to sub 1.
Well, so it depends. They don't seem to have like a specific place for me. I rarely close games. I opened a couple, and I'm usually smack dab in the middle. They've been doing this thing where they put me in the 4th, and I pitch until the 7th, and then they relieve me.
Oh, you're a mid pitcher?
Yeah, I'm like the mid most of the time. They put me in to try to like freaking like, I guess, bail out the terrible opener that they have because it's the Angels.
It's a relief.
You're
a relief pitcher, but you're not a closer.
I'm relief, but they won't let me close.
Yeah.
Even though I'm the best pitcher on the team.
Well, are you drinking coffee? Because coffee is for closers.
Right, exactly. No. Anyway, so I'll keep trucking on that, and I'll see how this, especially if there isn't a season this year. At least I'll have a virtual season to remember.
Right. Yeah, and I've been playing golf, not like virtually, actual real life walking golf. But other than that, that's not video game. That's actual game.
That's it for video games, and that's
it for us
for the Media Boat podcast. So thank you everybody for joining us for another edition of this Marooned Media Boat podcast. We will be back next week to talk all sorts of cool stuff, including but not limited to PlayStation 5 news.
Assuming it doesn't get pushed back again.
It won't. It'll happen tomorrow. PlayStation 5 news. We'll have Pokemon Journeys thoughts, Season 2 of Kipo thoughts. We'll have more sports updates, probably. We'll have... God, what else? Anything you're specifically looking forward to over the next week?
Basically, just that Sony reveal.
Yeah.
Finally comes.
That'll be the big news.
Yeah. I might listen to the Jimmy Buffett album now that I know that it's out.
Yeah, you should check that out.
Yeah.
Cool.
But
All right.
I don't
Well,
have anything really looking forward to. Oh, more quiz. Looking forward to more quiz.
yeah, I'll probably check out Quiz. I'll check
Yeah.
that out, and report back. Okay, so thank you for joining us. We'll be back next week. If you want to watch us, we are in video archive form on youtube.com. Just search Media Boat Podcast to find our page. We're in audio form through Apple Podcasts or other similar podcast services. Just search Media Boat Podcast. You can find us on Twitter at Media Boatcast. That's where you'll find tweets both about our shows when they go live and or go up, I guess, and also when we stream on YouTube every once in a while. And twitch.tv/MediaBoat, where you can see some of our archived older streams, video game streams. What else? Facebook, for the time being, we are still on there. We have a page on there. Search Media Boat Podcast to find that. And you can email us if you have questions or comments at mediaboatpodcast@gmail.com. So we'll be back next week. In the meantime, stay safe, everybody.
Yep, we'll be back next week for more thoughts and news and PlayStation reveals.
Indeed.
All right, bye.